going on, everyone? We are back with another In Search of Darkness horror movie review. I'm Depraved.
I'm Hellcat.
And together we are...
Hella Depraved.
Horror! So today, as you clicked on the video, you know what we're covering. We're covering The Evil Dead from 1981.
The original.
The original The Evil Dead.
Right.
I would like you guys to know, straight out the gate, I do not like this movie.
Yeah, so if you're a huge fan...
So if you're a huge fan and are okay with hearing other people talk bad about one of your favorite movies, stick around.
Right.
If not, click away. I promise you, I will not shit on this movie as much as I did Skinamarink. It definitely...
It does not deserve that.
It doesn't deserve that.
All right, so...
But hit him with the plot, baby. I didn't say it last time. We're going to hit him with the plot.
So, this is... actually nicely done because it was a cast of 5. That was basically the group. It is Ash Williams, who is played by Bruce Campbell, the one and only. So he goes to a cabin in the woods with his girlfriend, his sister, and another couple that's friends of theirs. And once they reach this cabin, they go to the basement and discover a book and tape recorder left by an archaeologist that claims he has found and accidentally summoned a Sumerian demon that possessed his wife.
Aren't Sumerians like...
ancient culture from
is it a real
Middle
ancient
East?
Culture?
Yeah.
I thought that was just a thing for
No.
Conan.
No.
Okay.
And he's not a Sumerian, but yeah. Anyway, so the archaeologist and his wife are at this point deceased because the only way to defeat the demons coming into the world is to die. So, anyway, they stupidly listen to the tape recording because, you know...
Record. It's a record.
Well, yeah. And read the book because, I don't know, a book made out of human flesh with a face on the front. Read that shit. And they wake the demon as well. And his sister seems to be the only one that's sort of like sensitive to it. So she wants to leave immediately, runs out into the woods.
Wasn't she the one that drew the SpongeBob character on the paper when she was sitting there?
Yeah.
Next to the clock?
Yeah. And she takes off, runs into the woods. The woods proceed to... it's a very unconsensual scene where she is impregnated with the evil, we shall say. And runs back in the house, says the woods aren't going to let any of us leave. Her brother tries to take her. I mean, like, you can't get out, basically. So they go back in the house, and all of a sudden his sister has red eyes and is trying to kill them.
Right.
So they lock her in the basement. But not before she inflicts a wound on Bruce Campbell's girlfriend. So she goes off to bed. And then, I mean, it just goes downhill from there. Everybody but Bruce Campbell basically ends up infected. And shenanigans ensue. And they are the Evil Dead, basically. And he barely escapes at the end. At least that's what we see in this one.
Right.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to present you guys with the very, very small cast. Again, this was a very low-budget movie. I didn't go through all that, damn it. This movie was directed and written by Sam Raimi, produced by Robert G. Tappert, starring the people I will mention here in a moment. Tim Philo did the cinematography, edited by Edna Ruth Paul. Music was done by Joe LaDuca. Was the name of a rubber ducky I had as a kid.
Because rubber ducky, you're the one.
Right. Renaissance Pictures was the production company, distributed by the wonderful New Line Cinema.
85-minute runtime. They had a budget of $375,000 and made $2.7 million or $29 million. I mean, like, that's a huge fucking difference.
I think it's an inflation
difference. Oh, I was like, really?
Or what it went on to make long-term.
I was like, cause really.
It looks like that. Okay, that's the international box office.
Got it. Basically, they made a lot of money.
People love the movie. Glad for people. The cast. I Bruce Campbell.
Yep, as Ash Williams.
Ellen Sandweiss as Cheryl Williams. Richard Demenicor
As Scott.
That's a name. Sorry. Betsy Baker as Linda. Teresa Tilley as Shelley. Sam Raimi and Robert G. Tappert both played local fishermen somewhere in the movie.
They were standing on the side of the road. Yeah.
Right, and there's Bob Dorian's voice was in it somewhere. He was the guy over the radio.
He was the archaeologist's voice. Yeah.
Right. So,
Hmm.
Cast-wise, this is where a big part of my problem comes into play. I am ready for the pitchforks now. As an actor, I do not like Bruce Campbell. I've never liked a role he's ever done. I think he way overacts. Not even
he's campy. He's
campy, but not the enjoyable kind of campy for me.
Right.
I am not one of those people that hate on him. I'm glad he's found the success that he has. I'm glad that all the people that love him do love him.
I think he's a cool person.
As a person, he is fantastic. And I have no complaints with him as a person, but as an actor, I just don't find him enjoyable.
I adore the premise of this film. I will say that.
Yes.
I think it has a fantastic premise, in terms of
so
the
much
synopsis
so the remake I love. I absolutely love the remake.
Yeah, I love that it's a cultural icon. I do. And maybe it's not my favorite, but I love that Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell made this, and it was, their childhood friends, and they had very limited funds, and how they produced this with just the five of them, and
By the way, I love limited funds is always $375,000.
I know.
And I'm like, I got $5.
To me, that would be excessive funds. But on the other hand, I just love that that's how this was created, and that, the first person point of view with the camera was something that they constructed just basically on shoestring budget to them. And that just took off and became something that was used in horror a lot. If you think about it...
They called it the shaky cam.
Yeah, something like that. For the time, because this was October of 1981 when it came out, The Cabin in the Woods, other than fairy tales and stuff like that, this wasn't a huge horror trope at that point. So they really created something special and something new. They created an entire culture of demons. They created a new sort of sorcery book. The mythos to this, they completely constructed. And I adore that. I love it. I love that they also, possession to them wasn't necessarily full body. They talked about, the archaeologist talks about this with his wife in the recording, certain parts of the body start with the possession, and those are where they've been cut or bit or wherever. And if you remove them, the person's fine. So, you lose an appendage, but the person is okay. Again, that's completely new, background information, this whole little world. And it's only 83 minutes, and they somehow managed to impart all of this new information about what they've created and this different way of possession of evil spirits and defeating them. And I adore that. I think, for me, it's not Bruce Campbell himself. I think because of the age of this film and the type of presentation that they were going for, which is a little bit more on the campy side of horror. They wanted it to be terrifying, but they also wanted it to be sort of funny, and we're still in that age of over theatrical presentations. I think all of the actors are a bit overacting for me. It's over dramatic, I guess is what I'm saying. I think they're all good actors and actresses, but there's a whole bunch of pause scenes when in reality you'd be moving already. Like, I don't know, her hand is coming with a knife and you're not moving. You're just lying on the floor waiting for it to stab you.
Right.
So I think that this first one is probably the one that I like the most. I know as a cultural icon, Bruce Campbell became Ash and had all of his slogans, his boomstick and groovy and all of that, and a lot of people love it. And I think that's for me when it became so improbable. I actually like this one more than the rest of the franchise. And a lot of it is just Ash as a character is actually more subdued. His bud, Scott, is the one that you're like, well, he's kind of a douche.
Right.
He's like, oh, fuck my girlfriend. Fuck yours. Fuck your sister. Let's get out of here, dude. Just leave him. It's cool.
So, this movie specifically is what turned me off to watching anything else he specifically is in.
Right.
I've tried. I didn't try any of the other Evil Deads. But, I mean, I've seen the small minor roles he had.
The cameos, yeah.
In the Spider-Man movies.
Right.
None of which are enjoyable. Which, again, Sam Raimi directed those. So, that's why he was in them. And they are buds. I just, any scenes I've ever seen where people are like, hey, check this out. And then it ends up being him. And I'm just like...
Yeah, to you...
It's not funny.
He's cringy.
Yes,
yeah,
very,
to you, he's
very
cringy.
cringy.
And I think everybody out there, like, keep in mind, guys, I know that this, again, is a cultural icon movie, and therefore people will probably get in their feels about this. But if you can't put your finger on a single actor or actress that you personally find that kind of level of, oh, I just cannot... They may be great at what they do, but I cannot stomach watching them. You're lying to yourself.
You've not watched enough movies. Then.
Yeah. It may not be Bruce Campbell, but it's there's somebody. Yeah.
So no, I haven't seen the other Evil Dead, so I can't say anything about those.
We'll be watching them. They'll come up in this search for darkness. So.
So special effects wise, we kind of already touched on a little bit on. The shaky cam thing.
Right.
One of the other things I will say that they did that was pretty cool. I did like the decomposing of the bodies being done in...
what looks like... It's,
stop animation.
Yeah, but it looks like oatmeal and stuff. It's great. It's great.
That was done really well.
It was. The clay stop animation, yeah.
Right.
I think going almost sort of like
Most
Exorcist.
Most of the gore was a bit out there. Not to an unenjoyable aspect. Okay, there's an enjoyable overdone gore, and there's an unenjoyable overdone gore.
And
right?
this was enjoyable.
And this was an enjoyable level overdone gore, whereas something along the lines, for me, of like Kill Bill, is unenjoyable, because then you're just getting way far out there. And,
I think it's fun, but there's a couple types of people.
Right.
I think that them kind of taking from The Exorcist was an interesting thing, because it was, again, it's a film about possession. So the original wounds to any of the possessed, they cough up what looks like milk versus blood.
Right.
But they made all of them do it. So again, the consistency across the victims, I suppose, lends you to believe that has something to do with the possession versus, non-biological substance that should not be happening, like the AI in Aliens or something like that.
I do have the Evil Dead video game. Have not played it.
No, okay. Again, great world. Great world. I think, honestly, everything else that they did in terms of bringing, like, the woods to life and the fire, the explosions, right. The way they decorated the basement, the Necronomicon itself.
It's fantastic.
Very great. Yeah. I think it was incredibly well done, and I can understand why this became such a iconic film. I can, yeah.
Right. So that's what is it your turn or my turn to rank it first? I think it's your turn.
Mm-mm.
Is it my turn?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. I'm glad.
Groovy.
I'm glad that it has reached the cult status that it has. What I did not mention earlier, by the way, is Rotten Tomatoes. Apparently, critically, it's a 95%. That's off of 64 reviews, and 100,000 plus audience reviews has it as an 84%.
Which is stunning because normally audience reviews are higher than critic.
Right.
I'll just point that out.
Unfortunately, I think all of you are wrong.
Haha! It's subjective, guys.
I am totally giving this a 2 out of 5.
Okay.
Because again, it is not the worst thing I've seen. I will never go out of my way to watch it.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
There are far better movies that I could choose to watch with my time.
Right. Hint, hint.
Even if I've seen that specific one probably close to about 2,000 times.
Right.
All
right.
But yeah, 2 out of 5 for me.
Out of 5?
Chainsaws.
What?
2 chainsaws out of 5.
Okay. Honestly, other than just not enjoying the overacting, and like I said, it's across the board for me. Everything else about this, I do enjoy. Now, do I think that this is terrifying? Not at all, guys. Like, I find this actually more humorous than anything, and I think part of it was supposed to be, that's just how it is. I'm going to give this a 3.5 because I can objectively see why this is a good film, even if subjectively I will never choose to put it on.
Right.
Because I agree with you that in terms of all of the choices to watch in my spare time when we're not doing something like this, it's not going to be one that I reach for. Will I watch it again? Probably, but for
now that
other
remake
purposes.
though, whoo! I will watch that one.
Again, it's the same premise. It's exactly the same. It's just not overacting. It's not the case. So yeah. So I will give this 3.5 Necronomicons out of 5.
Necronomicons.
Yeah, shush. I need more coffee.
Necronomicons, ladies and gentlemen, Necronomicons.
That's what I was saying. I sounded okay the first time. I'm just... yeah, sometimes, it is better. Anyway. Yeah, that is my review of it. People are going to hate that we hate watching Bruce Campbell act. I like listening to him talk in documentaries and stuff, like the review panels and shit.
He's a fascinating person.
He really is.
He's a good person. I like him as a person. I just don't like him as an actor.
I don't know why I don't like him. He is, to me...
I do. He's very William Shatner-ish as an actor. He's very thespian.
He's over dramatic is I guess the word that's the only thing that comes to mind for me.
No, I don't like William Shatner as an actor either. Kiss my butt.
I'm neither here nor there. Like, I haven't seen enough.
He's just not that good.
I haven't seen enough of him to care one way or another, but yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's gonna do it. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us. And
leave your hate in the comments.
Leave your hate or your love in the comments. We're down with it. Whatever. Bye-bye.